Presented by That Time I Got Reincarnated in the Same World as an Anime Podcaster, this is Shonen Jumping the Gun, the show where we set our sights on the first chapter of a manga and decide if it's a misfire or a bullseye.
Let's see how many rounds are in this magazine.
On today's episode, you've read your manga from left to right? That's a capital offense. You're going to nice prison. I am the supermodel of a modern manga podcaster of information shonen, shoujo, seinen, genin, weebular. I know the greats of shonen jump and gets the runs historical from Dragon Ball to Nice Prison. I'm really quite the oracle. And sitting here with my co-host and isekai fanatical. His taste do range from trash to gems. He's really enigmatical. Except Otome Isekai, a genre he has many views. And now we start the recording to entertain the lot of you. And now we start the recording to entertain the lot of you. And now we start the recording to entertain the lot of you. And now we start the recording to entertain the lot of you. And then it keeps going on and write another thing. Hi, everybody. After that little musical prelude, I am your main host, Moxie the Yin, here with my good friend, Isekai Sensei Sama Brad. Brad, how are you doing after
I'm surprised you can still speak.
You only heard one take, gentlemen and folks, and otherwise. I don't know why I did it like that, but it took a couple, but I was very proud. I don't know what made me think to write that as the intro, and I did it for me, and I'm like, well, I can't just go, and then it's a small joke, and then here's Brad. It's like, well, no, he's got to get a verse too, so I wrote two. I feel like I have an entirely podcast manga-themed version of Modern Major General in me somewhere.
Yeah?
So...
We did the green eggs and ham version.
Yeah, I think years ago I wanted to do a panel about how anime and manga is musicals, but they're secret siblings, and I was going to write one. I love writing parody versions of Modern Major General. It's really fun. But we are here with you today to cover a new Jump series, which it feels like it's been like ages since we've had one.
Yeah, I was actually just I was looking at this because
Sidcraft, like.
I'm actually behind on listening to our podcast.
Yeah.
Which sounds a little silly to say, but so we had a double batch a while back. We had Embers and Star of Beethoven.
I forgot.
I think those were the last ones.
Two. I love stars. Yeah, that happened in February.
Yeah.
So it's okay.
Yep, those were the last ones.
Sidcraft. Yeah, so 2 months ago. Ish, give or take, depending on when we were recording. This dropped April 20th, 2025, which is yesterday at time of recording. Yesterday was Easter, so we did not record. Nice Prison is by Tatsuya Suganuma, who, as far as I could tell, was seemingly a first-timer. All Googling could take me to was Nice Prison, and the vague sense that they had made some one-shots before they got into Jump, but I think this is their first proper series.
I wonder if they did any of the recent one-shots.
That we didn't get to see?
Yes.
Yeah,
because I guess we didn't.
Well, no, I feel like they would have been in an earlier batch because they have to have been working on this for a while.
You'd
I feel
think
like
so.
First chapter. But I guess I have no idea how long it takes them to go from first chapter to Jump.
Yeah.
And how long they have to prepare it or not to prepare it. Right. I don't know.
But it's weird because what we learned that Asteroid Royale
was finally put out of its gosh dang misery. It makes me smile.
But this started the same day, which means it's not replacing Asteroid Royale.
Technically, no, but I don't believe we're getting I don't think we're getting another new one like next week.
Yeah, it's weird they're doing this one-shot thing.
Because, well, we've been doing one-shots, and I guess maybe just this week this came out, maybe they just didn't have a one-shot so they could finish Astro Royale and start this, and I guess we'd be back to one-shots next week, or maybe not. Don't know. As English speakers, we do not get them officially, which is why we don't cover them or read them, because we can't, because they're not in English, which we read.
And a little bit of information for people who have been following this podcast for a while, and especially the new series that we cover as soon as possible.
Yes.
I am severely behind on all my Jump series.
Did reading this make you feel more bad about that? Did it help with the executive dysfunction or no?
No.
Okay.
But yes,
I have to make you catching up work. Then you'll do it.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. It's so weird. It's you said it. I said it before a couple days ago, but it's executive dysfunction. Mm-hmm. The fact that there are a bunch of things that I'm more than a week behind on, my brain just goes, no, not going to do it.
I know that feeling. That's why it's just like I need to be caught up is more powerful.
And it doesn't make any sense because I really like a lot of the series. Mm-hmm. Some of them, for example, Super Psychic Policeman Shoujo, I don't care for.
You could stop reading it.
I have.
Good. Thank you. On purpose?
The fact that I have gotten this far behind, I have made the decision that I have dropped Super Psychic Policeman
Anything
Shoujo.
else you drop while we're checking in on currently running Shonen Jump series?
I don't.
Had you been running Astro Royale?
It would have been Astro. The fact that Astro Royale has ended means that I will read the rest of it.
You will finish it because you're so close to the end.
But other than that, I think it's just series that I didn't get caught up on after we started them. So some of the older ones.
Star Beethoven continues to be way better than it has any right to be. Like every week I'm like, Star Beethoven. I read them like, Star Beethoven. Like
I called it.
You're cooking in ways that I don't understand, but I like not that I don't understand what's happening, but it's just like I don't know how you're cooking, but you are cooking, and I love it.
Go back and listen to that episode I did with B, and you'll hear I was up on it immediately. I was like, this is great.
Beethoven's great. Every time they go back to his backstory, is great because it's like it's actually what happened to Beethoven. There's a bunch of stuff I didn't know about Beethoven. We're getting distracted. Today we're here to talk about Nice Prison, but also I guess the magazine as a whole, but mostly Nice Prison.
These new series are a good chance to talk about what's going
on
where
we're
magazine.
At right now.
Yeah.
True. A lot of things. I feel like a lot of stuff has been able to live longer than normal. Well, I guess while we're having this little moment before we dive in. Like there's a bunch of stuff I thought would have been ended that just didn't. Like everything's getting time to breathe. I don't know if that's benefited any series necessarily, but so far it feels like a bunch of stuff that like I forgot. Like I forget that like maybe just because I'm not reading it, it's like I forget Hema 10's in the magazine. I forget Sidcraft's in the magazine. I forget whatever came out with Hema 10 that a Shinobi Undercover is in the magazine. Like I just don't think about them.
Yeah, there's a couple of those that I'm not, I don't care about so much, but I am still. At least the plan is to continue reading them.
Read them. Yeah, sure.
Maybe by the time the next new series drops, I'll have been caught up.
You gotta get caught up on Akane Banashi. It's popping off.
Yeah, I know, and that's one of the ones where I'm like,
I'm gonna make you.
I really like this.
Social
why can't I
FOMO
read
will make you get through your executive dysfunction, hopefully. But no, okay. Let's get into it. To my patented Moxie's Mock Speed manga summary. We learn that in prisons, there are those called model prisoners, those that act as a model for others. But there is one, even beyond that, they call the supermodel prisoners. Do you think it's intentional that it's like supermodel?
Probably not.
The ultra model?
I don't know that...
like model prisoners is a thing. Yeah. Because it's phrase.
But I don't know that the Japanese have the same concept of supermodel that we do.
Yeah, and the same verbiage. We said ultra or mega or like any of the other like...
Yeah.
If it wasn't intentional. Chapter 1. The true culprit was my father. That's my father. You can call me true culprit. You can just call me culprit. You don't have to call me true culprit. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. We meet new prison guard Tara Adachi and learn that her father was a great prison guard who died in the line of duty. She grew up respecting him and wanting to be a prison guard, which is now. But wow, this prison is wild. There is a big spread I can't fully capture, but would like to point out a clown inmate talking about romance, a kappa creature of some sort eating from a noodle flume, and a prisoner using a guard like a giant calligraphy brush to paint the kanji for butt onto a canvas. I guess side note before we get into this is a comedy gag manga. I can't write all the jokes down. Yeah. It will waste my time, and it won't be funny to anybody involved.
But we do have to point out the cicada prisoner.
There is a man who
does not break character.
No,
the entire time.
He is a cicada clinging to the wall and making that sound the entire time. The year is 20XX AD, and this is the lawless prison city, Nobanashi. I'm sure that's a pun of some variety that we don't get. My guts are telling me that. Located on a landfill in Tokyo Bay, the city is 90% prison. Prisoners too wild for their prisons are sent here. Tara is kind of freaking out about how wild the prisoners here are and how wimpy the guards are. We see more silly things, such as a prisoner playing dog salon with a guard, and 2 prisoners recreating the Spider-Man kiss. What a weird reference to see here. Tara tries to gain control, but a gunshot? Someone has arrived. The man from the front cover wearing a snazzy suit version of Prison Stripes, and he's got a massive, like, taller than him ball and chain. Like, holy heck, wait a minute, how'd he get through the door? We learn that he shot Lemon Juice, and that his name is Mitsuboshi. He has gained control of the room, except the romance clown. Mitsuboshi notes rookie Tara and introduces himself as a supermodel prisoner, though his chain ball is too big, so she can't really hear him. He then asks the chain ball to turn down the volume like Alexa, and it shrinks as asked. We learn about model prisoners and what makes him super. The guards kind of rely on him. A lot. He helps pacify the crazier prisoners the weak guards can't handle. He tells Tara he was born in this prison. It's his home. He was molded by it. I didn't think about the Bane thing until literally right now as I was reading that, and I'm really upset I haven't been reading this in a Bane voice. I'm not going to do a Bane voice for the entire time. That'd be very exhausting for all parties involved. He got arrested for ding-dong ditching his own home so he could come back, or his own house. This is his home. Prison is his home. It's a nice prison. So he could come back to it and take care of it. He goes on to mention a penny candy store that used to be here, and an old lady warden who would be there sometimes, but she's missing weirdly. Mitsuboshi gets all the prisoners to start their work, which comically ends up being them working on a high school yearbook, including them photographing students for it in the prison itself. Tara beseeches the guards, "Aren't you way too dependent on this supermodel prisoner? We need to get our act together." At that moment, the romance clown approaches. "Are you in love? Got a crush? A boyfriend?" He's the only inmate here that doesn't stop for Mitsuboshi. He keeps asking and says if she doesn't answer, he'll lock her away just like he did with the old lady. Mitsuboshi crushes him easily with his ball and chain, but he gets back up. The two do silly battle with Boshi spraying more lemons into his eyes, lime juice into his eyes, and just generally targeting his eyes with attacks, before finally bopping him with the ball and chain and capturing him like a Pokemon inside of it. He takes a moment to reminisce on his family while growing up in prison, before finding the old candy store and the old warden behind a brick wall. We learn from her that the prison is run by the super death row prisoner, and that there are 12 blocks, each with their own abducted wardens. Mitsuboshi leaves to clean them all up, and Tara follows, seeing a bit of her dad in him. Each block becomes even crazier. Can she do this? Can she become a great prison guard? I think it doesn't matter if my summary sounded all over the place, because the manga story is all over the place, because it's just a silly bill fest. Brad, you're making a very stern face at me.
I did not enjoy this.
I liked this. I don't know if me reading the thread before I read it helped me get my brain into the mindset I needed to this, or just like I have a burning nostalgia. This just makes me think of Bobobo, where it's just here's a bunch of seemingly non sequitur situations where like funny odd things happen, but we also have this sort of a vague sense of internal consistency of like, this is what we're doing. It's the same thing in Bobobo. There's the hair, he's got hair, there's the hair hunter groups, they're alphabetically labeled A through Z, and you have to go through all of them, and then when you're done with all of them, you're doing different there's other groups that aren't part of the alphabet, they get stronger as they get closer to A, except Z was special. Like, it feels so similar, but like I've never read anything like it that just has this sort of like, we have a goal, but also we're just going to sort of nonsense our way through things. And I'm very done up by nostalgia about that.
My problem here, like, this is a gag manga.
This is
very clear.
This is a gag more than the others in the magazine. This is a gag manga.
There was only one spot in this entire first chapter where I actually was like, ha.
And what was it?
I'm trying to find it.
Can't even find it.
I literally don't even remember what it was.
Is it the ball and chain when he gets sucked into it like a Pokemon? Like, while you're looking for that, I'm not going to say it's like, oh, I was laughing uproariously throughout this whole thing, but just like, I mean, I guess I don't know how much I necessarily did that for Bobobo, but there's just something about this like consistent oddball sense of wackiness, but still moving somewhere in particular that just tickles me. And I don't know if I'm just riddled with nostalgia from watching Bobobo growing up, or just like something about my psyche just likes it. Because it's not like, it is low random, but it doesn't feel like it's it's that feeling of, it seems like within itself it has some level of consistency, even if there is no consistency. But that sensation of, you're working to some sort of a format gives me enough to go like, oh, I am enjoying this chaos.
Yeah. No, and
I'm not making an argument that other people should like it. I'm saying
Right.
this is a really particular flavor that I in particular enjoy.
And there was nothing in here where I'm going, oh, this is bad. I just didn't care for it.
Yep.
So the one
I would say
thing
you're not alone.
that I laughed out loud at was him ding dong ditching his own
getting arrested
house
for
to
ding
get
dong
arrested.
ditching his own house
And I was
to get
just
rearrested.
I literally was like, ha. But the rest of it, I'm just like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, I very much respect it's not for everybody. Like, I feel like there's certain series where I'm just like, what's wrong with you? This series is great. And this one, it's like, I know very specifically.
Yeah.
This is my niche little candies that I like eating, that I grew up eating and haven't eaten in a long time.
But there's also, like, I mean, why did you have to get arrested? Why didn't you just become a prison guard? You could be a prison guard here.
Which they joke about that, because there's like one of the guards is like, why didn't you just become a guard? And then they just sort of lampshaded.
Yeah.
Which I think is funny. Like, it's a bunch of stupid things of just like, why wouldn't you do the straightforward thing? It's like, shut up. No, we're not talking about that. Where it's like, anytime the terror brings up, it's like, aren't you guys relying way too much on this guy? And the guards are like, hey. And then it's just something else happens.
Yeah. The one thing that just kept creeping into my brain while reading this was, are we really doing another gag manga that deals with the justice system?
Yeah, it's weird. I got caught up on that in the early part of the chapter, and then I have no idea how I freed myself from it, because I could not free myself when reading shoujo of just like cops.
But
it is weird.
Are we just doing this so that they can have crossovers with shoujo?
I think both of these are born from Kochikami Beat Cops, which is like the ancient series we've never read. Like, I know I've said before, it's like, I want to do a gag manga arc in Shonen Jump and Gun, but it would be terrible because these summaries are not fun to write or probably to listen to, because there's just so many like silly things happening, but if I describe them to you, they would not be silly or fun.
And I can't.
But I feel like we need to at least read some of Kochikami Beat Cops or whatever they're called.
I suppose we could cover it.
I feel like that's a historical thing. I know you're going to hate it because it's historical, because it's like fucking from the 70s, and you don't like a lot of gag. Well, I shouldn't say that, because you do like gag mangas, but I don't think either of us are going to find 1970s Japanese humor funny. I'm gonna take a swing.
I can't shake this feeling of like, is the Japanese government pushing this to like for propaganda that hey, cops are good? Because I mean, one of the things
they're not. In shoujo, he is constantly shown to be a huge shit.
Right, but he still does the good thing at the end.
I guess.
And the thing is Japanese prisons are notorious, probably not as bad as American prisons, but like for the rest of the world, Japanese prisons are notoriously bad.
Japanese prisons get that really nicely
justice
animated
system,
bread that I saw on Like a Dragon.
The justice system overall in Japan is very oppressive.
Yes.
And
see Phoenix Wright, which was written as a counterpoint to the Japanese justice system.
Are we just going, hey, we're going to have these manga, they're funny, we're going to they're targeted at teenagers, so hopefully when those teenagers will think the good of our justice system, you know?
I mean, I agreed with you more until my brain remembered Kochikami, and like genuinely, like, because that thing ran for decades.
Yeah.
That thing ran forever, and it's just, I think just because we just do not have it at all as a cultural understanding here, like, I don't think we can begin to understand, like,
well, and
I don't know if we have something similar here.
It's one thing if it's like one thing,
but they're both gag manga.
They're both gag manga. They're both in the same magazine at the same time.
Yeah, they're both gag manga, just like Kochikami. In this magazine, the magazine Kochikami came from. Like, this just feels like if they were in a different magazine, if they weren't specifically, if these were not comedy manga, I could more fully in my body believe it.
I guess so.
I don't think you're crazy 100%, but I don't think it's as much. I don't think it's as insidious as that. But maybe it's maybe it's creeping through everything.
You know how
I don't know.
For American TV, there's tons and tons of cop dramas.
Yes, yeah.
The thing that does is in the minds of the American public who watch these shows, it frames the cops as these great pillars of justice. They're always doing the right thing. Sometimes they gotta go beyond the law to get the bad guy, and it propagandizes people into going, oh, we should just let cops do whatever they want because
that is correct.
They're going to do the right thing, right? In a similar vein, I almost feel like this is going, hey, you have this image that cops are all like very rigid and structural and everything. So here we're going to give you this image of them being wacky and crazy.
Well,
and
no, the guards are all ineffectual.
Well,
the
right,
inmates
right.
are wacky. Like the inmates are funny and wacky and silly. None of the guards are capable or funny or like they are all just pushovers.
This would be the other side of the coin.
I feel like Chojo fits more to your argument, but I feel like
right.
this one, Nice Prison, does not.
But there's two sides to it because the Japanese justice system is very, they have that 99% conviction rate or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if what's going on here is going, for Chojo, you're going, hey, cops can be fun and funny, right? And then on the other side, it's don't worry about getting convicted as soon as you get arrested because you get to go to this funny, wacky prison.
No, but they present it as being like scary and having a lot of danger, and it's only going to get more wild. And
it's still wacky.
I like
none of those guards were being.
I guess.
Killed,
what else would we talk about? What? Not that we've seen. One was bricked up behind a brick wall because we're in comedy's land.
Right.
I mean, I guess I don't know what else would we think of it, so I guess I'm glad we had this topic, Brad, that you're arguing that that Nice Prison and Super Psychic Police and Shoujo are a psyop for the Japanese youth to like their justice system.
Well, a lot of other manga...
We need another gag manga about lawyers fighting in court cases then, don't we, to complete the trifecta?
Except the lawyers would be ineffectual in that case, because they want to make sure that...
Oh, because, they want the prosecutors to...
No,
they have a serious prosecutor, like, battler.
Right. We already know that there are a lot of manga that are propaganda for, hey, Japanese youth have children.
But are any of those in Shonen Jump?
Himiten.
Is Himiten about that? Have they talked about having children?
No, but...
Romance is not that. I'm not saying it can't turn into that, but also they're minors. They shouldn't be doing that.
No, but all of the isekai harem crap where it's like...
That's the trash. That's the cockroaches living underneath the rocks. There
are, I would say, 75% of women in manga are like, I want to have babies.
Yeah. Just shut-in men are writing it. It's interesting. I mean, maybe it is somewhat of a psyop. I think about... something that comes to mind specifically is, I guess years ago when Capcom was doing DLC on the disc, and the American Capcom branch was like, "You can't do that. People are going to see it and be pissed." And the Japanese devs were like, "What are you talking about? That's illegal." As if they would never look, they couldn't look to find it because it was illegal, so they just wouldn't. So no one would get pissed because they'd never see it. And it's just got this very sort of childlike, that's against the law. It's got to be. What do you think? People would get on the internet and lie? It's got big. Shoot, what was his name from Arthur? What was the rabbit's name?
Buster.
Was it Buster?
Yeah.
Was he Buster Bunny?
Yeah.
I thought that, but then I thought that was the name of the rabbit from Tiny Toons.
It is.
Oh, they're both Buster?
Yeah.
A lot of Buster Bunny. I guess the BU sounds nice. Rolls off the tongue.
Arthur Aardvark.
Buster Bunny. The rat principal. Was he gay? Not important. Don't remember. Might be mixing it up with that one guy.
I'm pretty sure he was.
I might be mixing it with the one teacher from
Mr. Ratburn.
Mr. Ratburn. I'm getting distracted. I guess it's I don't know what else to talk about with Nice Prison. It was fun. It was silly. I very much understand why other people wouldn't like it. I'm excited to see what the energy is moving forward. If this can fill a Bobobo afro-shaped hole in my lower pancreas, I'd be about it.
I don't mind that this exists. I just wish
it wasn't a psyop.
Shoujo would get canceled because I feel like you only need one of these.
Well, no, we have three. They're trying to cultivate I've said before. I had a whole presentation on it. Shonen Jump was made from three pillars, actiony battlers, sports, and gag manga. And sports are cursed.
Yeah.
So, and battlers or whatever, they're fine. They're thriving. So they're trying to cultivate.
I don't mind more gag manga. I just don't want two justice system gag manga.
I mean, we got to get the lawyer one then next time when Chojo gets canceled, and the monkey's paw finger will curl and it'll go yes. You won't have Chojo. You'll have lawyers taking law battles.
I'm not gonna
What if they just made a manga of Harvey Birdman?
I wouldn't mind that.
Very good.
I'm not going to do any kind of like, if that happens, I'll eat my hat, because I can totally see that happening.
Also, you don't wear hats, so you wouldn't have one to eat even.
I have a couple hats.
I'm sure. It's just a silly thing. I'm in a silly mood. I read Nice Prison. I'm in a silly tee-hee-ha-ha mood, so. I should look at the list. The art's fine. I liked the art. It does actually remind me of Chojo style a little bit, but not entirely.
The main character the character stylings in this are different because they do the more like they're squat with bigger heads, whereas Chojo is going for a more realistic proportions.
I guess. I don't know. I guess
this is more like
I continue to want the Chojo artist to be drawing other things that isn't Chojo because I really like his art style.
This is more like a chibi style kind of thing. Not the whole way.
Chojo?
But that no.
Oh,
Nice
I would
Prison.
call Chojo's more like cartoony, cutesy than Nice Prison. I guess Nice Prison has a like they're both similar but different in a way that I can't quite.
Everybody's
describe.
heads in Nice Prison are like too big for their bodies. That's
funny.
the whole.
They're silly ha.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's the chibification of it.
Okay.
If you look at Chojo, I mean, sometimes they do different proportions, but for the most part, everybody's proportions are sort of realistic, even though the actual styling is smoother, you know?
I remain in disagreement, but okay. I'd have to look at it, but the pictures I'm imagining in my head, I feel like Chojo's more like a cartoon way that you would draw people.
Yeah.
They're both cartoony. This conversation's going nowhere. Is there anything you want more or less of that is a meaningful statement?
I don't know. I'd be
Where do you think
interested.
we're going?
I'd be interested to know if they're actually going to do the 12 level thing,
Yes.
or if they're just going to subvert that.
No. They might at some point. They might skip one or two because it's funny. Like I said, if we're just doing Bobobo and it's been ages since we did Bobobo, so we can just do it again, they're just going to, they might be able to take out an entire one in a chapter in the beginning.
Just the fact that they set it up
it's
immediately.
It's going to find its rhythm. They're going to build. I feel like this is the one time where it's like, I have all the power in knowing. Because I watched the heck out of Bobo. Like, he's going to build a little retinue of other guards and prisoners that come with him, and sometimes some will appear. Maybe they'll have fusions. I don't know. Like, we're just going to funny hee-hee-ha-ha jazz in a general direction.
I just feel like the fact that they put all the cards on the table immediately
That's what Bobo did.
means
It's funny.
that they can just flip the table.
They can do that when they want to, but they don't have to.
Yeah.
Because I don't think this is specifically, like, it's not 100% a pastiche on, like, you got to take out the 4 heavenly kings. And it's like, it is, but it isn't, because now we've done that. We did that a decade or more ago, so.
Do you think that the death of that girl's dad has to do with the other guy's dad? The guy who was born in prison.
Oh, do you think the supermodel prisoner's family, I guess I'm assuming they escaped out of prison. I don't really know if he was let on, because I guess feels like a place you don't leave. This feels like a forever prison.
They didn't say specifically, so.
That'd be funny. Yeah, I guess they would be funny to me. It would be tragic to her, but it'd be funny to me if her dad died attempting to stop his dad from escaping. But
Right.
but I feel like they would just make a funny hee-hee-ha-ha joke out of that.
That would be
This is not a series that I want pathos in, really.
that would be a good reason for him to be a prisoner and her to be a guard, to keep that dynamic. And then she finds out, and then she's conflicted, and
Also, maybe not.
yeah.
Beauty and Bobobo was literally just there to be the straight man to comment on things. Whether that will be annoying going forward, I don't know yet. It can be annoying. Chojo got annoying with that a little bit, but that's just like a Japanese comedy thing. And I think you do need somebody to ground the what the fuck is going on here energy when you have one of these. I think just Chojo isn't I think I like this more than Chojo, and I like Roboco, but I think this is a different flavor of comedy manga, because it's not like a slice of life thing. It's kind of, there's some shonen elements of we're going somewhere, but also it's just fucking, we're bebopping here. Fuck you.
Yeah.
We're doing silly little bits as it comes to me as I'm drawing and writing it. Don't.
And that is a big difference between this and, assuming they're going to do it straight, between this and Chojo, which is, Chojo is definitely a slice of life.
This is not
thing.
a slice of life gag manga. This is a wacky woohoo waha.
I don't
think we've ever come
understand
to
why
grips with
people
this.
didn't like Murakami. Because I look at Chojo, I look at this, and then I compare those to Murakami, and I'm like, I was laughing on every single page of
Japanese
Murakami.
teens, I don't know. Don't know what to say. We've had this conversation. That's why we don't do What Will Live or Die anymore. Japanese teens, I don't know.
It was so much funnier.
It is still weird to me. I mean, as a human who didn't read any more of it, it is still weird to me how early that one went out. That's why I think I was noting more of just like, it's wild how much everything gets to breathe a little bit more now. But I don't know what's out of like Doom range at this point in time, in normal Doom range, in true flop definition range, by virtue of they could cover it or not. So I don't know. But yeah, like I said, they're gonna go through all the different things. They could maybe skip one if it would be funny. They'll build a band of people, the speed of which will be faster than Bubble because we live in the year 2025. I don't think Tara's going to get that much more characterization, but maybe that's the thing we get to do new in 2025. I don't know. We'll find out. I'm excited for the super guy to get his specific sidekick. I'm excited for the Don Patch of the piece to show up. Don Patch, like when you get another like insanoid to join the party, but they kind of can work at cross purposes.
Maybe it's the clown.
I don't want Romance Clown around anymore.
He's inside that ball.
Yeah, is this gonna be? Do you think? Okay, this is a very low level bet. Do you think it's going to be a running gag that he collects them in the ball like Pokemon, or do you think that was just a weird, silly one off? Because I could very easily see it go either direction with absolute clarity.
He's the
not
one,
important regardless.
He's the one prisoner that just kept going after
the true prison is inside the ball and chain.
Right.
I thought in my first read of it before I was like stopped and looked at it a little bit better is that I thought that family that was in the little prison thing was they were cutting to what inside the ball was, and I'm like, none of these are the clown, and I got confused for a second. I'm like, oh, he's flashing back to his family. Yeah. Or like somebody else he put in there, and I'm like, oh wait, no, it's him. Duh, stupid. But yeah, I think we're ready for conclusions. What are your thinky thinks and your feely feels on this?
I'm going to say that I think this is good.
Wow.
Like, technically speaking.
Nothing was wrong with it.
There was nothing.
No toes were stepped on.
Right.
There was nothing that was uncomfy.
Reading through it, there wasn't anything where I was like, no, this is bad, or that's bad, or this isn't good, or anything like that. So I think as a thing that exists, I think it's good.
Okay.
I feel that it's fine. Like,
okay, I was expecting
fine,
heavier.
Fine,
okay.
Neutral.
Okay, that's
as
fine.
in like
true neutral.
Like, if someone said you have to read this, I'd be like, okay, whatever.
If somebody put a gun to your head, Brad, I might need to do that. I haven't been reading your manga.
It's not to the point where I would be like, I hate this. I don't ever want to see it again. It's just I just don't care.
Yep, I can respect that. Like, this is one very much of like, this is my specific personal baby, and it could also just disappoint me next week. I don't know that. Did we get next week? Is it Golden Week next week? Golden Week's coming up. I feel like Golden Week was.
I don't know.
I feel like somebody said Golden Week was coming up. I think this is. I guess from your thing, originally I was going to say I think this is fine, but I think this is fine to good. Like, I think it's well put together. Like, in the thought that like I know it's not everybody's cup of tea. I think this is good to great parentheses nostalgia brain. Is that I'm basing off of this other thing that I didn't think I'd ever get more of it, or would think that I would still like in a new form. I know that I've like gone back and read a bunch of Bobobo. Like, the show is the form of it that I'm nostalgic for, but this reminds me of that sensation of wacky chaos that unto itself feels like it has some level of like structure, even if I don't know what it is, and there isn't actually one, but it's the sensation of under the hood there's some reason we went from this to this to this. Like, I'm just like, again, like, in that vein, it's like, I laugh where it's like, he attacks, he sprays lemon juice in his eye. He does a super attack where he just puts, like, fake glasses over his eyes, and he's like, eye attack, and he's like, lime juice attack, and it's just like, okay, sure, why are we focusing the eyes with these attacks? Like, it just makes me giggle. Like, it's just...
Oh, something we didn't call out, I do specifically want to say.
Flavor of weird.
The fact that he is wearing tiny little glasses that are made out of
like handcuffs are...
I think that's funny.
He's got a strong little design, because he's got the prison stripes on, but he has a tie and a collar.
Yeah.
Which nobody else has, which I like. Like, there's just a lot of little things, and it's like it just... I am specifically personally charmed by it. So yeah, think fine to good, feel good to great parentheses nostalgic hope. I don't think we need to high noon. If you want a high noon, I'll high noon. Because I'm just like, because
you know what? Let's do it. We haven't done it in such a long time.
This is a very like
a tepid.
This is a tepid high noon.
It's like we both saddled up to the bar and bumped into each other, and I was like, "What's up?" And you're like,
Are we supposed to duel? It makes me think of on the Jungle Cruise when they're supposed to draw their little pop gun to shoot at the hippos, and they just pick up the gun and they shake the gun at the hippos and go away, please. Like they don't want to fire the gun, but they don't want to be in this predicament anymore. And that's what I feel like this high noon is.
Okay, so I have to say something positive and you have to say something negative, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Since you thought it was good, you go first.
I mean, I'm going to say what I said before is like, I very much know this like wacky hee hee ha ha stuff is not for everybody. And I've been seeing that in the thread very specifically, people being really down on it. And I can just go, fair fucks to you. You are, because sometimes it's like, there's certain things that you can love where you're just like, how dare you not like it? What's wrong with you? But here it's like, dude, I get it. This is my little baby. You don't have to, I don't need to lift it up. It's just for me. Like I'm chill. So I can say like, the strangeness of it and the here, there, and everywhere is not everybody's cup of tea, and I understand that being not good. And also, like, I would say also the fact that it's, like, a fucking prison and the weird justice system stuff reoccurring is weirdly... Like, it's not full-on, like, what are you guys doing? But there's just enough where it's just like, that's weird. It's a nickel situation. It's very much a nickel situation. That I have two of them, and it's very odd that I have two of them.
I thought that the character designs were funny and interesting. The fact that the old lady warden had this weird long hair.
Yeah, what was the fuck with that? And then she turns and it's her head.
Was at the very back of it, like on the little bun. It's just ridiculous and interesting. Amusing. That's the word.
I feel like that's a good thing to call it. This is Nice Prison is amusing. I didn't lowercase a.
I didn't think it was funny per se, but it was amusing.
I like that word. I'm a fan of that word for this.
There was one funny part, the part I was like, ha, with the ding dong ditch. But
we've missed a phase I'm seeing. Is that would you buy it?
No.
Okay. I think I would. Again, I'm nostalgically hopeful, but with like not with like, oh man, I'm excited to read all this. It's like I'm gonna go from the first one. Like it's a very specific like I will do one and then I will decide from there. Sometimes it's like the excitement and the hope crushes everything, but here it's just like I need a little bit more paid back. But right now it's like I would read chapter 2 to see if it's going where I am hoping it's going.
Yeah, but
I'm not like cashing in on it. But yeah, I believe that has been the show. So thank you for listening, Brad. Hit me with them plugs.
Well, as always, we want to thank Sugoi Mart for partnering with us. Sugoi Mart's a retailer of Japanese snacks, drinks, toys, and merch, and they've got a lot of cool stuff you can't get outside Japan. Our listeners can use the code APR15 or click the link in the description to get 15% off their first order. And we want to hear from you, so find all of our social links on our website, animepodcasterreincarnation.com. Best place to talk with us is Discord, so come hang out there and talk about these episodes or whatever else you want to chat about. And don't forget to check out our Patreon, where our supporters get perks like getting to vote on what we cover on heroin addiction, bonus episodes, which we recorded one right before this, so you should get on there and check it out, as well as getting the high-quality stereo version of the podcast early. And of course, we have to shout out our patrons. So first and foremost, at our noble tier, we have our marquee, Sir Cake Dwarf. At our reincarnator tier, we've got Moon. And last but not least, at our commoner tier, we've got Rena. Thank you so much to all our patrons.
Thank you, Brad, for that. Thank you, everybody, for listening again. Make sure you listen to all the podcasts on our feed. And Brad, you know this Nice Prison dropped on 420. You know what I mean? I think we really need to make this a nice prison. You know what I'm talking about? And is that the police? Is that the Japanese police? Oh, Brad, help me! They're taking me away! They're gonna erase me because I smoked weed once! Ah! Are you ready to go to nice prison?
I guess.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, I shouldn't be surprised.
I feel like there's something where it's like you start off with,
I'm in a glass prison of jokes. It's time to go to nice prison.
I was thinking more along the lines of like, okay, it's a guard going, all right, hands up against the wall. It's time for an inspection. And then it's like, here's your cookie or something like that. Because it's a nice prison.
I guess. I feel like it's like, on today's episode, something, 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 you're going to nice prison. Like a silly crime.
On today's episode, wait a minute, jaywalking, that's a capital offense. You're going to nice prison.
Oh, to do a really serious voice about it?
Yeah.
I want something silly. I thought of jaywalking, but I want something more silly than jaywalking, maybe. Oi, you've been podcasting without a license. You're going to... I cannot keep my accent straight to save my fucking life.
Only Bronx.
Bronx or strong bad. There's
Same
like three.
thing.
There's like three voices that I do, and all of them just float back. Every other voice just floats back to them. To one of those three. On today's episode, you've been caught reading manga without a license. It's time to take you to nice prison.
On today's episode, do those bunk beds have goose down pillows? This is a nice prison.
No, I mean I liked your read of it, but that's not the vibe. It's because it's very actively not a nice prison. It's a very wacky place. I don't know why it's called nice prison. Are you entertained? Okay, thank you.
Are you not entertained?
Exactly. To help you remember things, I'm going to say a stupid thing is when you said 99% conviction rating, but I wonder if this prison has a 69% conviction rating because nice.
Nice.
It's a nice prison.
Yeah.
Bang, bang, robbers and cops. Bang, bang, rob the bank. Put them in jail. Put them in jail. Brad, take me to prison. Hey, you're going to jail.
Take me to church. I'm worshiping and the bright of my life. Sharpen a knife.
I could look at my phone because I already know what the ending bit's going to be. You need to put police sirens there.
I know. As soon as you start, I was like,
I couldn't leave too much space because I didn't want, because it was one where it's like, I don't want you to jump in because I need to follow up my own setup of like the silence of a sound coming in. Like you can leave it, cut those parts up to leave it more quiet for the siren to come in and go like, oh, because that's the thing. Fucking people get erased, or it's like, I did a weed smoke. I have weed on me in the tiniest, most reasonable amount. And it's like, You've been erased. You've been DLC'd out of the game.